I know you guys probably think I'm about to be shady, and I'm not. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shayla. This is your first time here. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the highly anticipated Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Yes. Boom. So they actually sent me both the hydrating, right here. Both the hydrating and the matte. They sent me the darkest shades. In the mattifying foundation, there's actually one more deeper shade that they didn't send me. I think they just probably sent me what they thought would be the closest, but the shade range is definitely the topic of discussion. So in this video, I am gonna swatch all of the shades that they gave me. I'm gonna talk about the finish, and then I'm gonna talk about the shade range. Yes, we're gonna talk about it all. The Tarte Shape Tape Foundation retails for $39, and it does come with an applicator very similar to the Tarte concealer. One of the first visuals I saw for the foundation, I believe, was on Pop Sugar. You can kind of see it right, I have like all my notes on my little iPad here. This is actually an iPad that Tarte gave me on a trip in with Tarte. But you can see like the first 9 shades, they all kind of look very similar. It's interesting that there's so many different shades for lighter skin tones, and then when you get to the deeper skin tones, there's really only like 3. That was like the first thing that kind of caught my eye, and we'll kind of go into that deeper, no pun intended. We'll go into that a little bit later. Before we swatch the colors, I do want to say that, you know, I have a great relationship with Tarte. I have been invited to a lot of the Trippin' with Tarte trips all over the world. I've had nothing really but good things to say about the people that work for Tarte. I think that made it even more important for me to make this video, and I'm not holding anything back. So I'm gonna apply the foundation, I'm gonna swatch it, apply it, and then we're gonna talk about the shade ranges after. All right, you guys, I'm gonna start with the hydrating foundation, and Tarte actually sent me the 3 darkest shades. This foundation is described as buildable, full coverage, oil-free, hypoallergenic, luminous finish. So this is for all of you guys that have dry skin or just like that dewy look. And I'm just gonna swatch light to dark. This is Tan Sand. Do one big swatch. This is Deep Honey. And this is Mahogany. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious which one would be the closest, if it even matches. And it looks a little bit like, almost like it has more of a neutral undertone. So it's not super cool, but it's not super golden. It's just pretty neutral. So let's just swatch the matte on this side, because maybe we'll find something a little closer to my skin tone. All right, so this is the Shape Tape Matte. The matte foundation is vegan and oil-free, full coverage foundation. It has a creamy texture and a modern matte finish. So I guess this one is gonna be like closest to the actual Shape Tape concealer. All right, let's start with Tan Honey. This actually looks a little bit pinker than this one. This is Deep Honey. This is Rich Sand. I feel like I would be like here, you know? Like, I feel like, I mean, I don't feel like it. They're missing so many shades. It's just crazy. It's like, it blows my mind that these are the 3 darkest shades. Okay, let's just try and figure out which one. There's really only one option here. I'm just gonna blend this and try and figure out which one is gonna look the best, because at this point, I just wanna try on one of the foundations that's closest to my skin tone. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do half and half. I don't think I really have that option because I really don't have my shades. So maybe the hydrating is gonna be the closest. Oh no, this looks darker on camera. Whoa. All right, we're gonna go with the mattifying, which is Deep Honey. All right, so I kept Deep Honey here. I'm just gonna add it all over my face, and I am going to use the paddle brush, which mine broke in the PR package. It's plastic. I feel like this is kind of like, it would probably be easy to snap. I know other brands that make this similar brush and they have like a rubber applicator, or maybe it just needed to be wrapped in plastic. I'm not sure, but it did break. I'm still gonna use it. This bad boy retails for $28. The Shape Tape foundation has a pretty unique applicator. I kind of like it, you know? I will say one nice thing to start off. And you know what's interesting, actually, now that I'm talking about the applicator, is when I worked at Mac, we would always talk about cleanliness and stuff like that. So I'm interested to know if it's sanitary to have that type of applicator going on your face and then going back into the foundation. You know what I mean? Which is why you see a lot of foundations come in a pump. They usually don't come with any type of applicator that you put on your face and then put back into the bottle, because all types of oils can go into the bottle, contaminate it, can just kind of mess with the formula. So this foundation actually looks like it's matching the Deep Honey. If you're my shade exactly, you'll probably find a color. If you're 5 shades lighter, you may also find a color. And then 5 shades darker. Just saying. This actually looks pretty good. I know you guys are probably like, what? Don't say anything nice about it, but I mean, this is a review. I'm reviewing the product, and as far as the consistency, this looks really good, which is kind of a shame, you know, because they really didn't come out with a lot of shades. Also, keep in mind, I did not prime my face. The reason I didn't prime my face is because I wanted to see the true color, and I didn't want anything to change it. I wanted to see how it oxidized, how it just sat on my skin. All right, I'm gonna conceal under my eyes with tan sand, and I'm actually gonna contour with, which color is this? Rich sand. I was a big fan of the Shape Tape concealer. It's definitely one of my favorites. Not sure I'm gonna continue to use it. I probably won't. The launch of this foundation just kind of makes me not want to use Tarte, to be honest with you. So I'm using their new sponge, which retails for $18, and I did wet it. This is similar to a beauty blender. It might be actually a little bit cheaper. All right, I'm gonna contour with Rich Sand. So this color is the next shade darker than my foundation shade. There's nothing in between. Okay, I'm bummed, you guys, because so far, I'm liking how the foundation looks. Ooh. Wait, hold that thought, hold on. Let me finish applying this because something's happening, right, y'all? Something's happening right here. All right, you guys, I'm gonna use my brushes I typically use, because these brushes aren't working for my contour. This is interesting. So the foundation is definitely drying super fast. And I feel like it's gathering kind of in my smile lines, which never happens. Something is starting to happen. Oh. So what I'm noticing, I don't know if you guys can see this right here, this little area right here. It almost looks like maybe it's a dry spot, but for some reason it's catching right here. My face just looks dirty. You know when you go to get your makeup done at like the counter or whatever, and they like put the wrong color on and you just go like this because you're hoping it'll like blend. So on camera, yeah, it looks a little dusty, it looks a little dirty. In person, it's definitely more beige. And I can see spots on my face, like right here, where it's just catching. So maybe my skin isn't hydrated enough for this, or maybe it's just a little too drying. But either way, it was starting off so good, and it just kind of did its own thing. And then right here, I think we're gonna have to zoom in. I'm gonna add just a little bit of foundation. Weird things are happening, folks. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna set my foundation with one of my favorite powders, the Sacha Buttercup powder. Just the same powder that I always use. I'm not gonna dare use a Tarte powder. Alright, you guys, I am gonna finish the rest of my makeup. I feel like the overall analysis of the foundation is complete. So I'm gonna finish my makeup and we are gonna have a conversation. Okay, we are gonna talk about this. Alright, so I added the rest of my face. My foundation has officially set in. Looking at the monitor, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. From far away, when you get up close, it's super dry. This is a super extremely matte foundation. So let's just take it back to the beginning when Tarte was teasing the Shape Tape foundation. I think everyone kind of knew, like, oh my god, Tarte's coming out with the Shape Tape foundation. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the hottest foundation launch of 2018. I know we're only a couple weeks in, but that was like the vibe of the foundation. So as soon as they put out, I guess, all the PR, it was like an immediate, like, I think you're missing a couple things. I think you might be missing a few colors. The first picture I ever saw of, I guess, the swatches was on Pop Sugar. I'm gonna show you guys right here. You guys can see all the swatches, and it's just like 12 shades that almost look identical. You can see them right here. It's kind of like 50 shades of not gray, but beige. And then all of a sudden you have 3 deeper tones. That was shocking, okay? And then that was followed by just no comment on the shades from Tarte, followed by posting a picture on Instagram of the Shape Tape foundation and disabling the comments, followed by Pop Sugar releasing what I would call a statement from Tarte. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Pop Sugar actually came out with an article saying that they're coming out with 10 more shades. They were extending the Shape Tape foundation, but it's coming soon. So they already have the 15 shades of each formula, which is 30 shades total, but 15 shades of the matte, 15 shades of the hydrating foundation, and then more shades would come in the summer. So I just want to read you guys a little bit of the Pop Sugar article. A Tarte rep explained to Pop Sugar that even when Shape Tape foundation was revealed, the new colors were already in the works. So typically this does happen with a foundation launch. They'll release a bunch of shades and then later kind of fill in the gaps. They typically wouldn't release 15 and then add 10 more. It would be more like what Rihanna did, 40 and then adding maybe like 5 or 6 more shades in between, depending on the demand. So let me just finish off where I started here. Additional shades are usually added seasonally, which makes sense because your complexion tends to be paler in the winter and darker in the summer. And our friends at Tarte were honest. They explained that it can take time to get a full range finished and flawless. They need to get those warm and cool undertones to be exact. So first, I would like Tarte to know that my skin tone isn't seasonal. This is my skin tone all year round. 2, I feel like if they're planning on extending the shades, they should have just waited and launched it all together, because essentially what you're doing is kind of prioritizing the lighter skin tone, and you're making people with a deeper skin tone feel somewhat inadequate. Whether that was the intention or not, that's just kind of what happens. That's what happens when you launch 12 light tone shades and only 3 deeper tone shades. It's 2018, you know? It's like every brand is able to come out with 30 plus shades of foundation. With that being said, do I recommend the Shape Tape? No. But I don't want to leave you guys on a bad note. So for those of you who maybe are just getting into foundations and maybe don't know where to turn, I'm going to just read off a list of a few brands that have a wide range of foundation shades. MAC. I started with MAC, and when I used to work at MAC, you guys, like, I was able to match like almost everybody. They have a great selection. So MAC, Maybelline, Fenty, Bobbi Brown, Makeup Forever, Lancome, Black Opal, Huda Beauty, Iman, Smashbox, Cover FX, just to name a few brands that I would say are really focused on being inclusive. And if you are a person of color, you definitely will find your foundation shade in one of those brands. I know I'm speaking for a lot of people when I say it's not a little, it's a lot disappointing. It's because it just kind of makes it seem like they don't care about people of color. You know, that's pretty much what's happening here, especially because they haven't even spoken on the situation. Thank you guys for watching this review. I know it kind of was like more on the serious note, but it needed to be addressed. It needed to be talked about. And subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Last but not least, Shredsley.